So looking for that running game. You guys see the running game anywhere? What the hell, guys? We came into this game here against the Dallas Cowboys expecting, and Rob and I both called for it on the show, to run, run, run all over this Cowboys defense, which has struggled to stop the run. Last week, Derrick Henry just ran amok against them, and I get it. Like, we don't have a Derrick Henry. But on a team that's averaging for the season over 5 yards per carry, we expected better. Go beyond the Derrick Henry guys. They played the Browns, who don't have Nick Chubb still, so you got all backup running backs. Remember what we did against the Browns in week 3 there. We had and controlled that running game pretty good there. Jerome Ford is no Nick Chubb. Then you go into, the week 2 matchup they had against the Saints. And Alvin Kamara obviously is the lead back there. He's much more of a receiving back. He's never been the guy that's going to get you 1,300 yards like a King Henry can. That's just not who he is. So 5 yards a clip, guys, are giving up. Here's what we did. Devin Singletary, 14 carries, 24 yards. Daniel Jones, 4 carries, 3 yards. Tyrone Tracy Jr., 4 carries, 2 yards. Eric Gray, 1 rush, 1 yard. Malik Neighbors, 1 rush, -4 yards. Guys, that's 24 carries for 26 yards. It doesn't take a freaking genius to figure out that's barely over 1 yard per carry. That is absolutely horrendous. That's probably going to be the worst rush performance of any offense this entire week. And that can't be, guys. That cannot be. Especially against this Cowboy team that has struggled so much to stop the run. I did not expect that at all. That's absolutely a travesty. And we have another video that we're putting out here talking about Daniel Jones and we think it's time to move on from him. But guys, that's not our decision to make, obviously. I don't want to sit there and say that like, oh, we have that power to tell Dable and Shane to go ahead and bench him. Obviously, we don't. As long as he's the quarterback, he needs help, guys. He's not good enough to do this by himself. He needs a run game. And I blame him for not hitting the deep passes and all. But I blame this run game also for not helping him in that respect. Because if you were the Cowboys defense last night, guys, were you worried about stopping the run? Maybe the very beginning of the game. But once you got everything rolling, you saw how bad they're running the ball. Were you worried at all, if you're the Cowboys defense, about how to stop that run game? No, you were trying to focus on Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson, which is like 90% of our offense, it felt like last night. At least half of the two guys. I mean, absolutely insanity. And we called for it before the game. I'm going to call for it again. It is time for Turbo Miller to come off the practice squad and see what he can do. Now, am I expecting him to be a Pro Bowl caliber running back? No, not at all. But I need to see what he can provide this year so we can see what we have going forward. Guys, we've seen enough of Eric Gray. I'm sorry, we have, point blank. This is his second season in the league. He's been a guy who's been a horrible returner that got, let's be honest, forced into this role. Joe Shane said last year, hey, we drafted him because they drafted other people that were kick returners. I needed one. Drafted out of need and reached. It was a bad pick. Sometimes you have to admit that and move on. He had that good preseason game against the Lions, and Rob and I were hopeful, that maybe he would do better. It hasn't come to fruition, though. And now you got a guy who, point blank, second year, and you're going into this going, what does he do well? And I don't mean to be a jerk about it, but being blunt and honest. Tell me what Eric Gray does well. Because I can't think of a damn thing. We are looking at now 2 years into this. 17 games overall he's played in. So basically completed his rookie year at that point. 21 carries, 55 yards. That's really, really bad, guys. Then you go into what he's done in special teams, and it's not good. We got to figure something out with this guy. We've got to figure something out. He's appearing in less than 10% of the snaps, guys, too, which tell you the coaches don't have confidence in what he can do in offense. They've been kind of forced into using him in roles in special teams. They do not have faith on what he can do on offense. And I don't understand if the coaching staff doesn't have faith in you. Why are they keeping you on the active roster? Why are they keeping you going like this? It's turbo time, guys. Let's find out what he can do. And if not, maybe what we got to do is start trying to look at guys in the streets, guys, to see what you got. Running back is one of those positions that sometimes you pick up somebody random that just fits the system right and gets everything going. And we got to get this going, guys. We cannot continue running the ball so poorly as we have this year. Even the prior week, we looked at Devin Singletary's numbers, and you can go, didn't do bad at that point against the Browns. No, he had like a 45-yard run. It was 2/3 of his carries. Like, that's not a very good thing to look at and go, okay, well, he had a good game. No, he had one good run, and that made it look like he had a good game. That's false numbers basically at that point, because you can't count on that week in, week out. You just can't. He had 43 yards overall rushing the ball against the Browns. That's what can we see. I remember how long it was. 23 yards it was. So 43 yards on the day, 23 of them on that one play. That's 16 carries on the game. So that means without that one play, it was 15 carries for 20 yards, guys, which is basically very similar to what he did, last night against the Cowboys when he did 14 carries for 24 yards. We can't continue like that. Can't. The only game he's looked good so far is against the Commanders, who's a rebuilding in the process of figuring out who the hell they are kind of team right now, guys. That's 3 out of 4. He's looked bad. And I think Devin Singletary is not a guy to give up on. But I think that we got to look at what's the problem. What's not going right? Is there an injury? Do we need to sit him down for a couple weeks, let him get healthy? Is there something the offensive line can do better to help him out at that point there? Are we running a scheme that maybe doesn't fit his strengths that we need to adjust? We have to figure this out. Because he's 27 years old, guys. It's not like he's like this 30-year-old running back. You just don't know what you got out of him there. And he's on pace right now to do his lowest yards per carry average in his career. And can't have that. Can't have that. Tyrone Tracy Jr., I think at this point, he's more of a third down back that catches the ball out of the backfield and occasionally runs. Let's see what he develops into. But I think that should be his current role based on what he's doing. So we need a second running back that runs. And I think Turbo's the guy. I think it's time to give Turbo a chance there, guys. So let me know in the comments if you think I'm right. Let me know if you think I'm crazy. Let me know if you think in the middle at this point. That some points are valid, some aren't, guys. Appreciate you guys watching as always.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.